2020 absolutely blew the doors off in 2019. Crushed it. Blew it. Gave it the old 1-2. It's pretty amazing, all things considered, when you think about everything that happened. All right. Now I have to be careful. Facebook doesn't like this word, so I have to say the beer that starts with a C absolutely had negligible impact at all on real estate. In fact, if anything, it boosted it, which is in many ways not unexpected, because if you're watching this show every week, you understand this. However, for the people that come in occasionally or only watch the information that comes out, monthly or quarterly or biannually, they're left way behind. The best part is this is free. You guys get some great information. So remember to subscribe, hit that bell, make sure that you're sharing this with anybody that you know that is looking at buying or selling. Again, there's free. There's no cost, hence the word free. And if you have questions, post them. We have, gosh, a great return. We're like at 30 minutes to answer questions, which is really awesome. And the best part is there's no strings attached. Doesn't matter if you're working with somebody else. If you have a question, ask. In fact, we even get a lot of agents asking us questions. We have some really great dialogue, and which is awesome, because then we get to have this absolutely fabulous collaboration, which is what we like. Anyway, so with that, we're going to go over kind of what we did 2020 over 2019, and then we're going to talk a little bit about where we're going in 2021. So for all of you, Happy New Year. I don't know where 2020 went. Probably one of the weirdest years I think I've ever experienced in my life. But all things considered, there's a lot of great things that happen. There's a few sad things that happen. However, you got to keep picking up the pieces, keep moving forward. Whatever you do, always be moving forward. If not, if you're looking back, that's the direction you're going. Always be looking forward. All right, let's roll this back a little bit. So the last market update we did was just before Christmas, in December, and the number of homes for sale was down 42.5%, which again was very consistent, really from about March onward. The year-to-date at that point was down 42.5%, expected. New on market was up 44%, but down 1.9% year over year. The pending were up 35.6% at that time, and the year-to-date was up 5.8%. The previous week had been 5.3%. Solds were up 22.2% in the month of, at least that point, month over month, right, in December. Year-to-date was up 3.9%. That was pretty crazy, because the previous week had been up 3.3%. So when you look at the activity, most people, historically, I should say, not most people, historically, our market really after about the second week of December really slows down. The holidays, and that carries all the way through January, and everything slows down. Okay, well, that's a normal market. However, hang on. Note, we had 595 new on market, 1,420 that had pended, 1,394, that was in the last 7 days. Now, let's take a look at this. Okay. Now, we're only going to be looking at December and year-to-date numbers. Okay. Really more December over December. We are doing our total year-to-date. So next week or this following Saturday, we're going to have a lot more information, a lot more metrics, because we're waiting for these numbers to basically finalize. Yeah, look at that. 1,132 closings in the last 7 days. It's crazy. All right. So that means that, yes, we are still moving on. We are still doing what we need to do market-wise. All right. So we take a look at for sale, 53.4% down in inventory. at basically our numbers at the end of December. New on market was up 36.8%. It was shocking how many people came on market and how many people went off market at the same time, because the average market time on Seattle, the east side, and parts of Snohomish and part of South King were 10 days or less. Okay, so if your home didn't sell within that timeline, there's a few things that come into mind. Condos excluded, all right? Now, and we'll get into that a little bit. So when we take a look at these numbers, again, and I should have said at the beginning, these are all residential. I separate the two. Okay, so let me explain why. All right. I have show and tell. All right, so Marie has these. This is single family. The arrow is pointing at the number of solds. The light green there, that's the number of homes that are available. Okay, those are the metrics that we're looking at today, right? That's single family. Now, here's condos. When I hold up the condos, again, the light green is our units available. The dark green are number of sold. So you can see that if I were to average them, and since I don't like to average a whole lot when it comes to different market styles, it would skew the numbers. And so we separate out single family from condos. So if you happen to own a condo, you want feedback and market values and what is your trending value or timelines, hey, just let us know. There's no strings attached. You'll get one of these super fancy reports in a second. It is 4 pages of absolute goodness. Some of those you're going to see today. And it takes you and it walks you through, you know, hey, where are things at? Where are things going? What are we looking at? What are absorption rates? And it makes it, and we put it in such a really simple format, which I have to do a shout out to Trend Graphics, who helps us with a lot of our metrics tracking. Those guys are absolutely awesome. Chris and I had a chat, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. Anyway, on a day I did not expect. I expected them to be gone. Chris calls me. We're working through a couple of things to get some additional metrics for you guys. So Chris at Trend Graphics, thank you very much for taking our call and getting us all squared away. You guys rock. And that's what helps us to be in real time with you. All right. So when we take a look at these numbers, so new on market at for December was actually up 36.8. Pended was up 32.3%. And solds were up 18.3%. Now, what's amazing about this is when we take a look at these numbers right here, and I don't go through a lot of these numbers every week because many times it's just too much, right? If you're a metrics guy, you're a numbers guy, and you like to noodle on numbers, okay, you'll enjoy this, and you definitely need to request our report. But over here, we need to make sure that you understand when we talk about months of inventory, and let's be clear, because I'm going to show you a chart, and this chart's going to be eye-opening. All right, so we have a bucket, and this bucket's called the Northwest MLS, and all the real estate agents put their listings in this bucket. Now, if I put a lid on this bucket, okay, a healthy market says I should have 4 to 6 months inside this bucket to be able to sell. Reserve inventory to sell. I should have 4 to 6 months of inventory to sell. All right? Now, I blew this one up, not in a literal sense. Let's get this up here. Look at that. Okay. You can see right here and right here, that's let me get that straight, 0.5. Now you can see right here in March, we were at 0.4. We immediately bumped up to 0.7, then 0.6. And then you can see it is our ski slope going down as far as homes available, inventory available. All right. And our months of inventory is a half a month. I know that's not funny. In fact, it's sad and it's scary because really, here's the thing, all right? So we have seen double-digit appreciation between 12 and 15%, depending on different areas of home value appreciation over the last year, all right? What that means is that homeowners have accrued wealth, which is awesome. However, The takeaway is that this also makes it incredibly difficult for young adults to actually enter into the market, to realize a home purchase. All right. The only real way to help mitigate that is getting more inventory, start to get a balanced market. I think this is probably one of our worst. We did get down in 2017. We did hit 0.3, 0.4 months of inventory. 0.5 is, yeah, it's pretty low. I mean, low. When you take a look at, I want to get to this here. Well, let's get to absorption rate. Okay. So the absorption rate helps us to take a look at, some people like to call it velocity. I don't call it velocity. I call it, the simplest way to understand this, we use the sponge, okay? So everybody knows a sponge. And if you have a dry sponge, okay, and you put it in water, it just sucks it up, right? And it sucks it up fast. But as that sponge gets full, it doesn't pull as much water in, okay? And in fact, sometimes it'll start to puddle, right? Or it just doesn't do anything. So when the sponge sucks it in, that means that our absorption rate is really high, okay? Because it's the market can take in what the buyers or what the sellers are putting into it. Now, as that sponge gets more and more full, okay, let me rewind something here. So the dry sponge would be like our 0.5 months of inventory, okay? We could double, we could triple the inventory right now. It would still suck it in, right? It's a dry sponge, put it in water, and it just starts sucking it up, right? Okay. If the sponge is taking in water, maybe not quite as fast, right? It's at that point where you need to wring it out, right? You can tell, right? It's a little squishy. That's 4 to 6 months of inventory, okay? Try to hit that nice happy medium. It holds water, it's not going to take in a ton more, right? Now, where you have that sloppy, if you put the sponge in water and you squeeze it, you suck it up, and you put it on your counter, and the water kind of goes out. Okay, so that's like having 10 or 11 months of inventory. That was 2009, 10, parts of 11. Okay, where we had so much inventory but not enough buyers, for a lot of different reasons, right? So we're at that dry sponge point, and that's what an absorption rate means. How much inventory can the market absorb that the buyers will take off, that move through the market? Velocity, not so much. Here you go. Looky. So when we take a look, it's hard to do this in reverse. That's 2012 last year. There we go. Okay, at 79.9, and then we come up. It's like looking in the mirror, huh? 202.7. It's 153.7 increase. That is mind blowing. But you know what? A picture's worth 1,000 words. All right, so there we go. So if you're asking, did 2020 absolutely crush, pulverize 2019? The answer is yes, it did. And it even exceeded our expectations. And so now let's talk about 2021. Where are we going to go? So to do that, I also want to answer some questions. And Raimundo, I'll get back to you here in a little bit. So John actually asked me, is it true people are moving out of Seattle en masse? Okay. Yes and no. My favorite color is not plaid. However, understand, yes, there are folks that are frustrated, that want to have more space. There's a variety of reasons. People, you have to understand, our market, people move in and out all the time. But here's a little bit of perspective, okay? All right. As you're driving around Seattle, are you noticing any boarded up homes? Are you noticing a bunch of vacant homes? Are you noticing, I don't know, homes not selling in Seattle? Because the answer is no, and oh my gosh, no, right? For every person that's moving out, there are 15 people bidding on a house to get into Seattle. So, okay, so let's keep things in perspective, right? Media creates great sensationalism for great reasons, I guess, of their own whatever. However, is for as many people moving out, there are people wanting to move in. That's all there is to it. We all have our different reasons. yes, having home offices has become in the top 5 of what new homeowners, or when people are moving up to new homes, are looking for. Okay, that's great. People are moving out a little bit more remote because, well, they're able to remote work. Okay, so now drive time hasn't become as important, which means that if you can move from a 1920s house to brand new construction that's 3 times bigger and a place to park and a 3-car garage, guess what, folks? Okay, it's common sense, right? Okay, and there are other people that want to just be always into that walking score, into that tighter area. Okay, it's just lifestyle, right? If you like concrete, you move to Seattle. If you want trees, you move out of Seattle. There you go. All right, so hopefully, John, that answered your question. I can answer it more in detail if you like, just ask. Let's see here. Jeff, will interest remain low in 2021? The answer is yes. Without a doubt, we are bobbling along. So right now we're at 2.75 for owner occupied, 3.375 for non-owner occupied, which is still super crazy. Refinance rates either 0.25 to 0.5 in rate or points. Okay, it depends on your credit. It depends on your debt to income ratios. Depends what you're trying to do. If you're doing a cash out refi, there's so many parameters. But to give you an idea, right? If you want to know more about why is new money have a better interest rate than refinance, I'll have them repost that where Dan and I, we walked you guys through the pros and the cons and everything, and doing rebates. So we'll keep that in mind. All right. So yes, interest rates are going to stay low. No, I do not foresee that happening as far as going crazy. I think that they'll stay between really on the average, probably about 2.75, 3.1. And it's going to bobble in there, in there. Remember, it's like the stock market. It goes up and down every day, right? All right. Okay, Samson asked, did we really see double-digit appreciation in home values? Short answer is yes. Okay. Between 12 and 15%, depending on different areas. There were a few areas that had a higher appreciation. It's a given. Luxury homes started to soften a little bit, not uncommon. It will pick up in spring again, which is going to be our late February, March to about mid-May market. And that's an expected market timeline. Okay. Let's see here. Why aren't condo sales doing as well as residential? No, because of interest rate. As interest rates go up, the condo market will be doing better because it's more costly to get sometimes into a single family home based on price, especially with inventory. Right now there are more condos, but with mortgage rates being so inexpensive, people are taking and putting into, upping their price just a little bit to get into a home. Okay, not unexpected. It is normal. Will that change? We might see a little bit of change in Q3, as far as an increased value in condo markets, but they are still plodding along right now. Okay, 2021, Q1, first quarter, Q2, second quarter. We are going to continue to see a relatively aggressive market as we start to January, because there's no recovery. We've always been home. So I expect January to be quite a bit more aggressive than what we have seen historically. So people coming in, mid to late January, historically we've recommended against that, waiting until more towards the end of February. I'm not sure that that's going to be as big of a deal this year. My prediction is that January is still going to have some pretty aggressive numbers. Same thing with February and March. I think we're going to see a large influx of home sellers coming on market. There's going to be a lot of transition. Some folks are going to be trying to beat tax implications, especially if you're outside of your $250 exemption for a single person, married couple, $500,000. If you're above that, you pay a capital gain on that, right? And I think that there are going to be some people who are going to want to get ahead of that potential tax implication. All right. So 2021, it's gonna be we'll be rocking again this year. Probably a record year, all things considered. Q4 might be a little different. It'll be interesting to see what shakes out. Q1 and Q2, absolutely without a doubt, we're going to be pretty aggressive. I think Q3, which is going to be a lot of our summer month, is still going to be very aggressive, and home builders right now are struggling to keep up because home sales and whatnot are absolutely through the roof. So if you guys have any questions, please put them up in the corner. Ask away. I will be in touch with you within 30 minutes with any question that is asked. And in fact, Raimunda, who just emailed me or texted us, I'll get to you momentarily. In the meantime, shout out again, Happy New Year, everybody. If you have questions here, let me know. If you would like numbers on your area, let me know. We already ran the Seattle metro areas. This report is already complete. If you would like a copy of that, just let us know. There's no cost. In the meantime, Happy New Year. Have a fabulous day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.